All right, let's get right into it. Sometimes the most powerful messages don't come from massive reports, but from a single urgent document. And that's exactly what we're looking at today. We're going to break down a really interesting press release from a traditional sultanate. It's part warning, part call to action, and it's absolutely fascinating. Wow. It kicks off with a line that is designed to get your attention, right? This is not your typical dry, bureaucratic language. No, it's intense, it's evocative, and it really makes you want to know what's going on. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to take this document and peel back the layers, piece by piece, so we can really understand its message, who it's for, and what its purpose is. Let's get started. Okay, first things first. Whenever you look at a message like this, you've got to ask two simple questions. Who's talking, and who are they talking to? The messenger here is the Sultanate of Tadjourah. Now, this is a really big deal. We're not talking about a political party or some modern activist group. This is a traditional, historical authority. So when an institution like this decides to speak out on a modern political issue, well, that message carries a very different, very unique kind of weight. And their audience, it couldn't possibly be any broader. By addressing the entire nation, the Sultanate is making it clear that this isn't just some local issue. They're framing this as something that matters to every single citizen. It's a national broadcast. So you've got this ancient authority speaking to the whole country. The big question is, why? What's the emergency? What's happening that made them feel they had to release this statement right now? Well, the document paints a pretty stark picture of a threat. It uses that powerful image of the sound of boots to suggest some kind of military pressure. And it's not vague about it either. It directly points the finger, blaming the Gadabuursi regime and saying this threat is right at the gates. This table really just lays it all out for us, doesn't it? It's a classic three-act story. You've got the Sultanate acting as the messenger, the Gadabuursi people as the ones they're standing with, and the Gadabuursi regime identified as the source of the conflict. So why is the Sultanate even involved? According to them, it's because of a deep historical connection. They're not just saying they're political allies. No, they're invoking unbreakable ties, things like history and brotherhood. They're basically saying this is a family matter, a moral duty. Okay, so we know what the problem is, and we know who the players are, but what's the solution? Let's get to the real heart of the message, the call to action. What does the Sultanate actually want people to do? The specific words they use here are so important. This isn't just a suggestion or a request. It's a solemn appeal. That language is chosen very carefully. It's meant to convey seriousness, history, and a real sense of gravity. And here's their four-step plan. What's really interesting here is that this is not a call to arms. It's a call for a change in thinking. It's all about choosing unity over these artificial divisions and pushing for dialogue instead of conflict to build something new together. This line right here, it really gets to the core of their argument. The plea for unity isn't just presented as a nice idea. The Sultanate frames it as an absolute necessity, something demanded by their common destiny. It's a powerful way of saying that fighting amongst themselves is a luxury they just can't afford. So we've seen the problem and we've seen the proposed solution. But what's the endgame? What is the vision for the future that the Sultanate is holding up as the prize? And what's so striking is how modern this vision is. The Sultanate isn't calling for a return to some golden age in the past. They're actually pushing for a democratic, inclusive state, one that provides peace and prosperity. It's a forward-looking ideal that's meant to appeal to absolutely everyone. And here's the twist. How do you build this modern democratic future? According to the document, you do it by drawing strength from the wisdom of our ancestors. It's this incredible blend of tradition and progress, using the foundations of the past to build a totally new future. All right, for this last part, let's step back and look at this document, not just for what it says, but for how it says it. Because the way the language is used here, it's incredibly smart and deliberate. Look at this. This slide just lays out the whole strategy perfectly. On one side, you have all this language of conflict and pain, boots, suffering, divisions. And on the other, you have the language of resolution, brotherhood, unity, dialogue. By setting up this stark contrast, they make their proposed solution seem like the only reasonable, logical choice. So, when you put it all together, what do you have? This is so much more than just a letter. It's a really sophisticated piece of communication.
It's using the moral authority of a traditional institution to define a crisis, offer a peaceful way out, and inspire people to work towards a modern, democratic future.
And it all ends with this, a sort of blessing, a final appeal to two really powerful ideas: fraternity, or brotherhood, and reason. It's a hopeful and dignified end to what is otherwise a very tense message. Which really leaves us with this one big question to think about. When a historical power like a sultanate speaks directly to a modern nation about its own future, it's a powerful reminder that the past is never really past. Its voice is still here, trying to shape the world we live in today.